I'm Brenda Caldwell, aka Dr. B. Welcome to the Hope Zone, moving you from a place of hopelessness and brokenness to a place of healing and wholeness, a place where hope is alive to bring you more peace, more joy, more freedom, and more understanding of your God-given purpose. Let's enter the Hope Zone. Hey, Hope Zone family. It's me, Brenda Caldwell, aka Dr. B. I'm so excited about being with you today. I'm so excited about you and who you are. Oh my goodness, you are an amazing person who has done an amazing thing by joining the Hope Zone. I'm just excited about coming alongside you in this season of your life. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness. So as we begin this show, first I want to say thank you to everyone who has continued to share the Hope Zone with your family, share it with your friends, and who've been sharing it with coworkers and just helping me to get the word out. I certainly appreciate it because I am in the earth. I am all things hope. I am hope on two legs. I'm the ambassador of hope, the hopeologist, you name it. Hope is who I am. Hope is what I do. So I'm excited that you would want to come alongside me on today. I promise you, you're in the right place at the right time for the right reason with the right vessel. It's about to go down. And so I just want you to know that I've been excited about these past podcasts we've been doing. We are now up to number eight. And today we are talking about this: redefining who you see. Redefining who you see. Oh my goodness. I want to start with a quote from Myles Monroe, the late great Myles Monroe, who was a phenomenal teacher and whose work is actually still in the earth on YouTube. Wonderful, wonderful work. One of the quotes from Myles Monroe that I really love is when he says, so many people spend so much time trying to meet other people that they never get to meet themselves. Ooh, that's deep. Wow. So in saying that, I want to start today with 4 life questions. I want to start with these questions to give you something to think about. And that is asking you, if you could answer these questions. I'm telling you, if you can answer these questions, you're on it. Most people can't really answer these questions because we're really not taught, but I'm gonna throw it out to you anyway. The first question, I call these the 4 life questions. Question number 1 is, if you had to answer this, who am I? Who am I? Question 2, what is my why? What is my why? And 3, oh my goodness, the coup de grace question. What is my purpose? What is my why? I'm sorry, who am I? What is my why? And what is my purpose? And the 4th is easier for most people, but that question would be, what do I do? So we more relate to the question, what do you do? So when someone asks you, what do you do? Most of the time we say something like, well, I work at such and such, or, I'm a teacher at such and such, or, we lead off with, kind of like that. So the reason I'm asking you to think about and ponder these questions is because these are powerful questions that give the clue to why you were sent to the earth. Do you not know that the earth needs what God put in you? You are a gift, and you have a gift, and your gift literally is the very reason that you breathe and get up out of the bed. If that's not your case, if that's not your truth, then I want you to hold on, and I want you to hang out with me continually, because you're going to get to know that. And I will say this about, if you can't answer those 4 questions, don't worry about it. If you become part of the new Hope Zone community, That's where we're going to be answering those questions, along with other prizes and gifts and other great teachings and some creative things that God has given me. We've just launched the Hope Zone Family Community on Facebook. So join me at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. If you're listening to this on a Monday, we're meeting at 7 p.m. on Monday evenings, 7 p.m. Central Time, and we're going to be talking about that. But let me give you a couple of clues just to whet your appetite. When you think about who am I am should be your opening, the way that you answered it. I am. The Greek word for I am is actually, and it came to pass. And it came to pass, which is why God, some of you know his name, one of his names is I am. And that means that if God speaks it and says, I am, it's going to happen. It's going to come to pass. We're created in his image. So we should be able to say, I am. So Michael Jackson, when he was 12 years old, was asked this question. 12 years old, Michael was interviewed, and someone said to Michael, you must really love music. You are so really, gifted, obviously, at music. So you must really love music. Michael Jackson, as a 12-year-old, said, I am music. Whoa. Mike dropped the mic with that answer. That's profound, because think about it. How did Michael Jackson make his living all of his life? From a 5-year-old child being the breadwinner of his family all the way up until his death, Michael Jackson's gift of music made room. So he said the powerful, correct answer, I am music. I'll take myself. I am hope. I am living, breathing, walking, talking hope. That is my gift in the earth, because I have the gift of encouragement, the gift of exhortation. So again, to discover and be able to answer these questions is to be able to know and identify what your gifts are. If you can identify your gifts, you'll be able to answer those questions. And another clue is that the answer to all 4 questions are actually the same. They are the same. So these are the kinds of things that we're going to be exploring more and giving more insight and helping people tap into their purpose in the Hope Zone. I'm excited about those of you who are wanting to join me there. But I want to kind of shift, because even though I can say to you that, you have purpose, you have value, you are, absolutely needed in the earth, if you don't believe that, then it really has no power to be able to move forward and walk that out unless it becomes your truth. So I said that to say to you that today I really want to visit this subject about if you're a person who has struggled with feeling not good enough. I want to settle this today. My very first podcast number 1, in case you have not listened, you can go back. I taught on it, broke down some things, but I want to revisit today, since I've been teaching over the past few weeks on understanding your design, understanding how you were created by God, understanding how much you matter. I want to say to somebody right now, I want to say to you, I'm talking to you. I love to talk to one person. Come on, from one person to 100 to 1,000 to 1 million. I am not doing this for numbers. Literally, I am motivated by you. If you are the only person who's watching, who's listening to me right now, I want you to know you are so important that I am pouring my heart, my soul, and my life into you, because I want you to receive this truth. First of all, the word good does not even belong in the sentence. So when we say, I don't feel good enough, what we're going to do right now is break this down. The word good does not belong in the sentence. In fact, it's not a matter of being good enough. No. The issue, come on, are you with me? The truth is that Jesus died on a cross over 2,000 years ago. And it just is humbling to me that I would be that loved, that I would be that cared about, that someone would lay down their life to tell me that not only am I enough, but I'm more than enough. So I want to say that to you, that the issue of you being enough was settled. It was settled over 2,000 years ago. That's why being deeply rooted and grounded in God's love for you is the foundation for true security. That's the only way that you're going to truly feel secure, is that your love is the love that you have, the love that God has for you it deeply roots you. It deeply grounds you in such a way that you know that you are enough. No one else's love and no one else's acceptance makes you enough. So let's settle that. Being enough also means this. It means that you already have everything in you that you would ever need to become the person that God created you to be. Let me say that again. Being enough means you were already created. You were sent here. When you were created in the heavenly realm, He knew you before you were ever in your mother's womb, fashioned you, molded you, designed you, saw your substance, looked out and saw your future, then molded you, shaped you, put you in a body, got you into the earth. And when He sent you to the earth, you already had everything in you that you would ever need to become the person that you were created to be. And that ought to be some good news. That should be some good news. So this is why the lie of not being enough, that not good enough lie, is just that. It's a lie. It is a lie. Oh my goodness. I pray that you're receiving this. In fact, it is the extreme opposite. It's the extreme opposite. Did you hear that? It's not just the opposite. The lie that you are not enough, or that we are not enough, that we don't measure up, that lie that so many people struggle with. Know that in my line of work, in therapy, as a speaker who travels and been places around the world and have been just fortunate and blessed to pour life into people. But one of the number one struggles that people have is that they don't feel that they are enough. They don't feel that they are enough. The only way that this not good enough lie, the only way that it can be destroyed, I want you to really get this now. The only way that it can truly be destroyed is that you must break the covenant that you have with this lie. I want to break that down. Break it down, Dr. B. Okay, you asked, I will. What is a covenant? A covenant is a legally binding agreement or a contract between two parties. For example, marriage. Okay, marriage. When married people decide that they want to break their covenant, this is called a divorce. And we know divorce is very high in our country, in our society, okay, for various reasons. But what's happening is that they are breaking a covenant. And sometimes it's necessary to break that covenant because one of them, or perhaps both, may have been too toxic for each other. Maybe they had become abusive. Maybe they had been, cheated on. Maybe they had been defiled. Maybe they have been, violated in some way. Maybe they had been so verbally or physically, emotionally abused that the spouse said, no, I am choosing to no longer subject myself to this treatment. So I tell you what, I'm going to break this covenant. I no longer agree that I deserve this treatment. So I want you to understand that this means also that You no longer agree. And so in terms of a marriage, it means that they no longer have any legal ties to each other. So in the same way, and I'm reading from some of my notes, in this same way, if you're struggling with any feelings of not being enough, it means that you are married to a lie. Whoa, let that set. Let that marinate for a minute. Married to a lie. And if you want to be free, you're going to have to break the covenant. And how do you break this covenant? To break this covenant, you've got to use one of the greatest power sources that you have. A few podcasts ago, I taught on the 7 amazing abilities that you were given as part of a creation of God. God gave you an ability. One of these abilities is called voice. You have the power to use your voice and open up your mouth, and you can break a covenant with a lie. What does this mean? Breaking a covenant with this not good enough lie. Well, how do you do that? You have to renounce the covenant by literally saying something as simply as, I renounce. To renounce means I fall out of agreement with. It means I no longer believe the lie that I'm not enough. I divorce you. I break the covenant with you that I am not enough. I renounce the not good enough lie. I renounce the lie that I don't measure up. I renounce the lie that something is wrong with me. When you use your mouth and you say, I break this covenant, it's very powerful, and it's also freeing. Okay, are you with me? And then you're going to want to absolutely apologize to God, to ask God to forgive you for coming into agreement with a lie, because listen, Romans 3:4, I believe I mentioned it before, says, let what God says be true and every man a liar. What every person has ever said about you is a lie. And so if God calls you wonderful and someone else calls you worthless, someone else other than God has to be lying. Are you with me? Because there's no lying in God. He's only truth. And so it's so important that you realize you have the power to fall out of agreement with this no good, not for good, anything lie. That lie has destroyed so many people who feel like they have to people please, so many people who feel like they have to compromise who they really are, so many people who feel like they have to just do anything to be liked. You know, we see it all over social media. So many people who feel like they just don't measure up. They are changing their body. They're changing their facial features. They're changing so much about the purity of who they really are. Why? Simply because they don't feel like they're enough. It is an epidemic. In my estimation, it is absolutely an epidemic. There are too many people, and I've done research. I'm not going to drop off a whole lot of numbers to you right now, but understand research shows that there are millions of people who truly struggle with not feeling that they are enough. And if you're one of them, or if somebody that you know is one, then Dr. B, I'm on a mission to help set somebody free. I promise you, freedom is real. So the world, I want you to understand this. The world does not define you. You've heard me say that before. We're talking about how you see yourself, redefining how you see yourself. If you're going to get redefined in the world that we live in, you've got to make a decision to realize that the world does not define you. Whether that's the world of social media, the world of work, the world of family, the world of friendship, the world of church, the world of social media, the world of school, colleges, the world of relationships, and the world of this billion-dollar advertising, marketing and advertising that goes on to get us every single day to feel like we need to change something about ourselves in order to fit in order to measure up, in order to have the brand or whatever it may be. The world puts pressure on us. And that's why so many people are struggling with depression, 61 million people in America alone deal with mental health issues like depression, like anxiety, bipolar disorder, all of these mental issues. The world has a lot to do with it. People in the world have a lot to do with all of this that we see. And so I'm just passionate about wanting people to realize that the world cannot define you because the world did not design you. And so it's important to understand and know that. And it's very important to understand that you have the power to open up your mouth and say something. I shared with you before that you were created with all of these amazing abilities. One of these abilities is that, again, you have the power to use your mouth. The words that we speak are very creative. In fact, words are the most creative force in the entire universe. Words are. Job 22 verse 28 declares, "You will decree a thing, and the thing shall be established." Did you hear that? When you open up your mouth to decree something, to decree means to establish with your mouth into the atmosphere, to speak something into existence in such a way that it has to come to pass. It has to happen. And so if you're going to break free, if we're going to break free of this not good enough lie, we don't measure up lie, then we have to use our mouth and begin to make decrees. Why? Because we have the power. You and I both have the power to change what we believe and change what we think and change how we view our life and redefine who we are and redefine what we see even when we look in a mirror. Our words have the power to do that. Our words do. Your thoughts are words in seed form. That's why you have to make sure that if you're thinking negative thoughts, don't speak the thought. Come on, capture it while you're just thinking about it so that when it comes out, you can speak life. I said that because I want you to really gain this revelation about how important it is to wake up every day and make decrees and declarations to speak over your life, choosing to affirm yourself, choosing to come into agreement with not what the world says, but what God says about you. You have that power to do so. You have the power to begin making declarations and be simply able to say that I matter, my life matters, I have purpose, I'm a person of destiny. The world does not define me. My body is not defined by how I look, all of that. That's so important. You have that power to use your mouth to speak life every single day and to say, I do not agree with the lie that I'm not good enough. I agree and I come into the covenant that I am more than enough. I want you to really get that because that's so important. Why? Because you have the power every single day to shift how you see yourself and how you see your life. As I said, you have the power to redefine what you see when you look in the mirror. Can you look in the mirror and say, I love what I see when I look at me? I see an amazing child of God looking back at me. I see a person of value and worth looking back at me. I love what I see when I look at me. Woo! I love what I see when I look at me. Why? Because I'm heaven made. Oh, I love what I see when I look at me because I'm tailor-made. Oh my. I love what I see when I look at me because I'm greatly made. I love what I see when I look at me because I'm wonderfully made. Now, I'm not a singer, but I am an aspiring rapper. Okay, so as an aspiring rapper, I'm a 50-something-year-old aspiring rapper. I can drop a few bars off. Okay, I can drop. I really can flow sometimes. Okay, but I'm not gonna go too far. Y'all, you're not really ready for my whole set yet. But I do have a CD coming to a corner store near you. But I want you to get that. I am so sincere. I'm laughing, but I promise you, my heart and my soul and my spirit wants people to be delivered and freed from this not good enough lie. I want you to know that if you, your friend, your family member, your mom, your brother, your sister, your coworker, anyone that you know that may be struggling with that and has dealt with that, if they've dealt with depression, they've dealt with not being good enough. If they've had suicidal thoughts, they've dealt with not being good enough. If they struggle with low self-esteem, they've dealt with not being good enough. If they've struggled with low self-worth, they struggle with not feeling good enough. Are you with me? Are you with me? So I want you to hear this. Again, I want to share these notes with you. I want you to remember that, as I've said, the world can't define you. Why? Because the world didn't design you. Why don't you say that? The world can't define me because the world didn't design me. Remember, we said that, whether it's the world of family, the world of work, the world of church, the world of, social media, whatever that world is, it does not define you. That means, I want you to get this, that we are not defined. We are not defined by our looks, our clothes, positions, weight, positions in the community, monetary status, possessions, home, neighborhood that we live in, being married, being not married, being divorced, widowed, the way we speak, who our friends are, our people connections, our church affiliations, our gender, our social media likes, comments, or profiles. No, and we're not designed. We are not rather defined by our mistakes, our messiness, our sins, or our shortcomings. No, we're not defined by that. And we're not defined by who else likes us, loves us, or accepts us. No, we are already liked, already loved, and already labeled. Did you hear that? Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you this question. When you think of the greatest designers, we're talking big time, well-known, famous designers, who comes to your mind? Who are you thinking about right now? Think about the brands. Think about the brands. You may even wear the brands. Whatever name just came to you, let me share this with you. The greatest designer that the world has ever known is not Gucci, Versace, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, or any other human designer. No. The greatest designer is the designer who is the designer of the creator of heaven, earth, and you. That's the greatest designer. The one who created heaven, the one who created earth, and the one who created you. You were designed to be an unrepeatable, a absolute unrepeatable, one of a kind miracle. That's what we get into in this world. Somebody else's label on the back of our clothes or on our shoes or in our purse or on our purse. Those labels are good. But you were labeled, you with me, by the greatest designer the world will ever know, who took the time to make you a one of a kind. Thank you for joining me on today. And as I love to say, from your worst day, your best day, and every day in between, remember, there's always a reason to have hope. So just like a piece of rope, always hold on to hope. I'm so glad you made it to the end of the podcast. If the Hope Zone is making a positive difference in your life, please subscribe to the show so you don't miss the next episode. Leave a review, and most of all, share it with your friends. And remember, from your worst day to your best day, there's hope in every situation.